My dear sisters and brothers, we continue our journey, observing and meditating on the characters of the Passion. Today we look at Simon of Cyrene. Simon of Cyrene was a man pressed into service by the Romans during Christ's Passion. Some wonder, why was Simon even there? What was the purpose for Simon's place besides circumstance, in this case, holy circumstance? Cyrene, as we know in ancient times, the last names of people in ancient times was the region or the town in which they came from. Cyrene is a region located in northern Africa, and it had a Jewish community of about 100,000. Cyrenian Jews had a synagogue in Jerusalem, where many would travel for annual feasts. Simon was in Jerusalem and heading back because the Passover was at hand. That was probably the reason why Simon was there, to celebrate Passover. Ironically enough, Simon would be pressed into service to help a man who was carrying his cross, Jesus, who we call the new Passover. So as Simon was walking and had to be forced at first to help through his reluctancy, his compassion for the one who would be considered the new Paschal Lamb is what we focus on today. As Simon helped the Lord carry a physical cross, Jesus helped Simon carry his. As we enter into this 5th week of Lent, as we begin this season known as Passiontide in the church, these 2 Sundays, where we focus more intently on the death and resurrection of Jesus, and as we meditate on Simon's simple assistance of the Lord, 2 questions come to our minds as we reflect in this week. First, do we understand our cross? Do we understand what the crosses are in our lives? Maybe it's the cross of anxiety, it's the cross of fear, the cross of mental illness, the cross of physical illness. Maybe it's the cross of a family member who is enduring those things. Maybe it's the cross of a friend who puts too much on you. Maybe you might be the cross for someone else. Do we have the wherewithal? Do we have the openness to understand our crosses in our lives and why we must carry them? Sometimes we want to hand our crosses over, give them back to God, and not understand and not deal with the crosses in our lives. A brief story on the cross. There was a man who passed away, and he had a cross in his pocket. And he wanted so badly to get rid of this cross because he thought it was so big that he went to Jesus and he said, Jesus, I want to go back, but I can't carry this cross you've given me. Let me go and trade this cross for one of the crosses that are in the room of all those who have gone before me. I'll take anything that they've got. Jesus says, sure. He opens the door, and the man goes into the room, and he sees crosses of all shapes, sizes, wood, mahogany, iron, silver, gold, bronze, you name it. And he's looking at all of these gigantic crosses, and he says, I can't carry this. This is too heavy, even for me. But his eyes catch in the corner of the room a little cross made of wood. And he goes in and he grabs that cross. And he comes to Jesus, who's waiting for him at the door. And he says, Jesus, I've traded in my cross and I found this one. It can fit in my hand. It's even smaller than the one I had in my pocket. This will work for me. And Jesus smiled and looked at him and said, my son, that's the cross you brought in this room. Nothing is too big when we let Christ into our lives. Simon's example is what we must do to let Christ help us carry our crosses. Do we have the openness to let Christ into our lives as we celebrate his passion? God love you.